we just have some guest speaker today. They all like run the Asian community way before my mom was born. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's crazy. So we give it up for them, and then give them around like some time to talk about what they did and like what they experienced with the Asian community and everything.
So, Mr. and Mrs. Florendo, we're the presidents of Katipunan, the Filipino Association. That's basically a family dynasty. So they ran the Filipino community from Baltimore. This is Kitty Catherine Chen. She ran Baltimore Chinatown with her husband Calvin Chen. So they had a vision where they wanted to bring all the Asians of Baltimore together to create an Asian town. So that's kind of what I'm working towards now with the different associations. So I thought it's important that we give recognition to the people that came before us, because that's really important, because we wouldn't be where we are without them. That's right. So it's gonna come up. They're gonna come speak about the history of Chinatown and about the Asian community, and you guys can ask questions from there. And then after that, we'll go back to singing. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to come up to come up to the front? So
that way we can see everybody.
Yeah.
Have a seat, please. Let's have a seat. Right. That's wild. I've not even heard me. Yeah.
I'll be here. No more.
It's okay. Start with Mrs. Chin because she has her materials ready.
I got it.
Now we are wired.
Okay. Introduce yourself. However you want to.
I can stand up. But first of all, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I'm impressed with your entertainment. I didn't know you all can sing as well as you do. I think you should be in the opera. Not Towson University.
Towson got talent.
But I really am very impressed, and it really is an honor to be here tonight, to be with you all. And I am Chinese, and I was born in Washington, D.C., but I lived most of my time in Baltimore, so I know more about Baltimore than I do Washington. But our parents were born in China. And I don't speak Mandarin, sorry, but I speak Gongdonghua. I speak Cantonese. So I hope you'll forgive me. But the thing is, I was asked by Joe to come and talk to you about the Chinese culture here in Baltimore. And actually my husband and I were very active. My husband has passed away in 2008. But he was born in Baltimore, but his parents were born in Canton, as were my parents. So when we both graduated from College Park, University of Maryland, not Towson University, sorry. His major was in business administration and my major was in nutrition. And when we both graduated, he was appointed by then Alexandro to be a tax assessor for the city of Baltimore. And then I was asked to, as a dietitian, I was on the faculty of Johns Hopkins Hospital School of Nursing, so I taught student nurses there about nutrition. So you can see that, but even though we were busy in our college, as you all are, we were still active in the city because we always wanted to build Chinatown, and my husband became very active, and he helped to establish the Ji Hao Uk Tin, which is the Chin Association. And then after that, we were able to bring the Chinese Freemasons into Chinatown. Chinatown at that time was in the 300 block of Park Avenue. And it was very active at the time. And we were able to have a couple who opened up a Chinese food store, Budong grocery store. So it really was very, very nice. And at the time, we wanted to not just have Chinese, we wanted to bring diverse Asian population in the area. So fortunately, we were able to get Sony to come join us. And we had Sony open up a Filipino restaurant across the street.
first Filipino restaurant in Baltimore, right?
Yeah, the first Filipino restaurant in Baltimore. So the Florendo, and we were very close to one another. And
What year was that?
excuse me,
What year was that?
1982.
1982. You weren't
The
born yet.
restaurant was 82. But earlier it was China.
Yeah. So we wanted to have it as diverse Asian community, not just Chinese, but we wanted to bring in the Korean, the Filipinos, the Vietnamese, the whole gamut of our Asians, so that when people come into Baltimore, they say, "Where's Chinatown?" Because in Baltimore we have Little Italy, we have Germantown, we have Greektown, and Italian, Little Italy, Italian town. So they always wanted to look for our Asian town. So that's where we started to develop it and bring it together. But then fortunately, after they had problems in the city, everybody started moving out. So they start moving out in the county. But we were still able to maintain some of the businesses in Park Avenue. But my husband still wanted to bring it together, and he worked hard at it. So we were still trying very hard, but just didn't work out too well. So we thought, well, maybe with the younger generation, they might have the same interest as what we had at the time. But we're still praying that it will come together, because 300, 400 block of Park Avenue was very popular, and people would come in and they always look for Chinese restaurants. So that was very successful then. But now it's gotten to the point where we're still working hard to try to bring it together, as Sony will tell you. But Sony will tell you what happened to her. I'll let her tell you. But we were very close. It was very close. And as I was telling Sony, when I was teaching at Johns Hopkins Hospital, the president of the Philippines came as a patient, and he wanted some Filipino food. He wanted pancit. So I had to look for my Filipino friends to see where and get some pancit. And I was able to get it. And then when I got it, I gave it to his nurse. And the nurse gave it to him. And the Filipino president said that was the best food he's had since he was a patient at Hopkins. But it was very successful. Now, the reason why I was asked to come to talk to you about Chinese culture, let me just say this. Although I was born in Washington, D.C., my parents were born in Canton, China. As when my husband, all my siblings were born in Washington. And my husband's siblings were all born in Baltimore, but his parents too were born in China. It wasn't easy for them when they came. When they came, nobody came rich. It was hard. When they came, they had to work hard. And the Chinese, they couldn't speak English. So Grace and St. Peter's Church in the 700 block of Park Avenue is an Episcopal church, and all the Chinese, when they came, they would all go there to worship and also to learn their English. And that's where many of them learned their English. So then when they got their English and they could understand, many of them opened up restaurants, and some opened up laundries, because you didn't have to speak much English at that time, so it was easy. But they all worked hard. They all worked hard. No one, it, they didn't go without working because they had to support their family. So no one came rich. They all struggled and worked hard at it. But the thing is, then later, they all, and my husband's family opened up the China Clipper restaurant on Charles Street, and was very, very popular. If you all, how many of you are from Baltimore?
Be more, stand up.
All more. I mean,
Be more.
West Well, the China Clipper was on Charles Street.
On street? Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy down there. Wow.
And D'Alessandro, he was the mayor. The whole family used to go there to eat. And Nancy was a little girl. And you know who she is now? Nancy Pelosi.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is.
Well, anyway, they were very successful. Finally, they sold the restaurant because they all gave it up. Because our parents, as well as my husband's parents, said to the sibling, all the children, study hard so you won't have to work as hard as they did. So we were all, so here we are. We all went to college. And it wasn't easy, but we had to study hard. And I'm sure your parents are all telling you the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, study hard. So when my husband's family sold the China Clipper, guess what? Guess who bought it?
White people.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Oh.
they sold it and it was a gay bar. Okay.
Okay, Miss.
But anyway, we were very fortunate. And as I always like to say, in our family, we have everything but a plumber and an electrician, and they're the one that's making money. We all had to struggle. So we all had to study hard, because that's what our parents pushed us and said, study hard. So I'm sure your parents are telling you, all of you, the same thing. And I know that every one of your parents would be very proud of you if they saw you all here, because you were just a wonderful group, and I'm very impressed with all of you. So it's a joy, and it's really a joy for me to be here, to be able to share this with you, as you have shared things with me, as I didn't know you were so talented, not just in studies, but in singing. I was hoping somebody would be up here dancing, but I didn't see that.
Dang, wait, what?
But again, thank you very much, and it really is an honor.
Okay. All right. So next we're gonna have Mrs. Melendo speak, but I just wanted to, we're trying this out at Towson, but I mean, next semester we're gonna do this at Johns Hopkins University, where it's gonna be big. We're expecting a couple hundred people to come to that. So we want to recognize your contributions, Mr. Flendo, Mrs. Chin, for the Asian community of Baltimore. So, speak now. Share your experience.
Good evening, everybody. I want to know the composition of this group. Let's see the Chinese. Vietnamese. The Thais. Do we have anything? Anybody from Thailand? Not yet. Okay, do we have anything? Anybody from Japan?
Konnichiwa.
Denny Hanna? Okay, anybody else? Indonesian? Malaysian? Koreans?
One person.
We all have a responsibility in building this Asian community. All of us, and there are a lot of us here. So coming together is the only way we can build our strong community.
But wait a minute, you forgot to ask where are the Filipinos?
Where are the Filipinos? Oy!
And by the way, our son, Rene Florendo, is the facilities engineer of Towson University. So he knows all the nooks and corners of the educational buildings, and anytime that he can be of help to any of you, he's just around.
He's the one with the left hand amputee, but he's all over the university.
And he dedicates himself, even with his left hand, being the feature drummer for his church every Sunday. So that shows you that the Spirit can be willing, and when the Spirit is willing, you can make waves in your own limited facility, and everybody will enjoy you. So the Asian community really has to be alive. You have to show yourself up. Your language is your uniqueness, and as you can see when you're singing it, that gives you the spirit to share with everybody. I congratulate you, and when we are here not just in spirit, but also in our unified purpose to become the models for our own social clubs. That is what my wife Sonny did all the time that she was here, starting clubs, starting the different participation in all of the assignments that she can get invited to. Because when she is speaking, and this came from the colleagues that she had. When she's speaking, she speaks with the accent, and just like now, they said, Mrs. Florendo, don't lose your accent, because when you speak, everybody listens.
Otherwise, yeah. Okay. You can see who my fan is. My husband is my biggest fan. Sometimes he says things that did I do that? Did I really do that? But he remembers. Anyway, we came here in 1968 from the Philippines. We were born in the Philippines, studied in the Philippines. And when we came here, we came in 1968. By 1969, I was home with my kids. We have 4 kids, ages 1.5 to 6. So 4 little kids. He was working full-time. I was taking care of the kids full-time. But in the Philippines, I was an instructor in the University of the Philippines, teaching nutrition and dietetics and institution management. And he was an engineer at Procter & Gamble. So when we came here, there was a whole different situation. So, but we took all the advantages, and really, as Kitty said, everybody had to work hard. We did not come to America with a lot of money, but we know we can share something because we had something in our backs, in our heads, and so I was employed by the city. She was with De La Sandro. I was with Mayor Schaefer. So we were one election away. As Schaefer followed De La Sandro. And by the time Schaefer was there, his interest was diversity. Diversity, that was his, that was his mission, his dream, to have all the people come together. So they hired me as a nutritionist, but then I showed my boss was in the public relations. The husband was in public relations. And what they liked with me, my boss, Eleanor Snyder, was I was in public relations also in the Philippines. So between her husband and I, we had a eye-to-eye experience about public relations. So I used that as, eventually my boss said, you know what, why I got you? Because of your public relations experience. Because this is what we need in nutrition. Public relation, nutrition, education. So I did things that were not being done at that time or any other time. I started demonstrating. In the evening, I will go out and go to the different communities in Baltimore. From east to west, through south to west, whatever, I will be there. You know what I taught them? How to eat vegetables using Asian technique, okay? I taught them how to cook egg fouillon, because egg fouillon is one of their favorites, and it is one of the easiest and cheapest thing to do. It's fried eggs. And when you form it, use a cup and put it in a cup and turn it around, it is egg fouillon with a little bit of sauce. So all of this I did, and some of my friends in the nutrition department says, you don't have to do that. We are like this, we have to counsel, we have to do this. And I told them, this is my way of education, of educating them. Show them. So that was what I did. And so Mayor Schaefer got, and my boss started talking maybe, and I was involved with anything that happens with the Vietnamese community. There is the brawl in Halibert Avenue. They will call me, Sonny, the Filipinos and the Vietnamese are fighting. In the evening, okay, Sonny, there are jump ships, you know. Okay, I will be there. I did not know who I was. Remember now, I did not know I am a Filipino. Because I was Japanese, I was Vietnamese, I was Korean, I was Chinese, I was Japanese, I was Spanish. Because that is our composition in the Philippines. We are a melting pot of Asia. We have Indonesians, Malaysians, they are our, they are part of our family tree. And the Chinese and the Japanese and all others are traders. So we dealt with them all our lives, in our daily lives. We are used to them. So when the time came here, and Mayor Schaefer recognized that, I was joining and going around restaurants, Spanish restaurants, Chinese restaurants, everybody, because the food and sanitation department think that I can communicate, I can help. And I did, a little bit, I can just demonstrate and, be patient with them and catch them when they try to cover up something, because I know. So that was how I started in the city. I was everything. I was even an interpreter for the maternal and child care. And that was the time when the Hispanic people were coming.
And we had a patient who was so difficult, a young patient, and I had to interpret in Spanish what they want to do with a pregnant young woman. And she is so afraid, she is frantic and all that, crying, wouldn't know how to do anything. She just want to remove any clothing. So I had to demonstrate. I had to use root words because I'm not fluent in Spanish, but I have some. And so it all happened and it was successful. And our director said, if only I can give you a Purple Heart, I will give you a Purple Heart for addressing this very horrifying experience for the young lady. So that was one of my works in the city, going out to all the communities because I have some experience in dealing with them. At that time, the blacks and the Koreans did not understand each other. So that was my first assignment, to deal with the blacks and the Koreans, because just looking at each other becomes a problem. The Koreans could not look directly eye to eye because that is their respect. That's a form of